List of the Paleozoic life of California. Plus Acanthopteran, plus Acidophorus, plus Acidophorus hesperia, plus Advenella bifurcata, plus Agathopteris, plus Alaskaspira, plus Alaskaspira dunbaria or unidentified comparable form, plus Albertella, plus Albertella longwelli, plus Alitaria tentative report, plus Alisecus tentative report, plus Alakastocare, plus Alacastocerla, plus Alacastocerla brighamsis or unidentified comparable form, plus Amblysiphonilla, plus Amblysiphonilla grossa, plus Amblysiphonilloids, plus Amblysiphonilloids reticulata, plus Amblysiphonilloids tubulara, plus Ambicolia tentative report, plus Amcephalus, plus Amcephalus aragosensis, plus Ampix tentative report, plus Ampix compactus, plus Anadanthus, plus Anadanthus chastensis type locality for species, plus Anuliconcha, plus Anomalorthes, plus Anaptambonites, plus Anaptambonites meamorpheus type locality for species, plus Anaptambonites myriamorpheus, plus Antiquitonia, plus Apatoliches, plus Archaeodamus, plus Archaeodamus langenhami type locality for species, plus Archaeosophia, plus Archaeosophia mazarchensis type locality for species, plus Archelina polaris or unidentified related form, plus Archaeolnellus, plus Archaeolnellus megafrontalis or unidentified comparable form, plus Aspidella tentative report, plus Aspidella terranovica, plus Astartella, plus Atripa, plus Atripa reticularis, plus Atripilla tenuis or unidentified comparable form, plus Atripoidea tentative report, plus Oliphyllum tentative report, plus Austinella, cancaxis or unidentified related form, plus Austinella cancaxis or unidentified related form, plus Aviculopton dissimilis, plus Aviculopton fimbriatus, plus Aviculopton occidentalis or unidentified comparable form, plus Bakevelia, plus Bathymionia, plus Bathymionia nevadensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Baham merriamorum, plus Baham virginii type locality for species, plus Bellephantia, plus Buronia bifrons or unidentified comparable form, plus Bicarina petalatornata, plus Biformospira type locality for genus, plus Biformospira isoxoni type locality for species, plus Bicornia, plus Bimuria, plus Blastoidocrinus, carcharoidens or unidentified comparable form, plus Bulbolnellus brevispinus, plus Bulbolnellus europaria, plus Bonia, plus Baucatspira type locality for genus, plus Baucatspira fimbriata type locality for species, plus Brachyprion surretensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Bristolia anteros, plus Bristolia brachioma, plus Bristolia bristolensis, plus Bristolia fragilis, plus Bristolia insolens, plus Bristolia mohavesis, plus Bryorhensis report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Bryorhensis bisulcatum, plus Bumastis, plus Buxtonia scabriculoids, plus Buxtonia websteri or unidentified comparable form, C, E, plus Calicocolia typicalis type locality for species, plus Calamine, plus Camerotokia tentative report, plus Cancrinella phosphatica, plus Cancrinella undata, plus Carolinites, plus Carolinites genesinaca, plus Carolinites sibiricus, plus Chalaroshwagerina, plus Chalaroshwagerina inflata type locality for species, plus Chalaroshwagerina obesa type locality for species, plus Chalaroshwagerina pulchra type locality for species, plus Chalaroshwagerina tumentis type locality for species, plus Chalospalus, plus Chonites, plus Chontinella, plus Corystitella, plus Cladipora, plus Clavicosta tentative report, plus Cleithyridina, plus Clelandia, plus Clelandiae, plus Clelandia aspina, plus Clelandia bispina, plus Cleefdinella, plus Cleefdinella alescensis, plus Clysiophyllum, plus Clysiophyllum gabi, plus Clysiophyllum oweni type locality for species, plus Composita, plus Composita grandis or unidentified comparable form, plus Composita subtilita or unidentified comparable form, plus Conchidium, plus Conchidium bilocular or unidentified comparable form, plus Conicardium, plus Cordylaristria, plus Cordylaristria inyoensis type locality for species, plus Cornwalacea, plus Cornwalacea tabularia, plus Carimbispongea, plus Carimbispongea adnata, plus Carimbispongea mica, plus Carimbispongea perforata, plus Costa spinifera report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Costa spinifera costata tentative report, plus Crenulose 2, plus Crenulose to delicata type locality for species, plus Crenulose to fusiformis type locality for species, plus Crenulose to inyoensis type locality for species, plus Crenulose to Rossi type locality for species, plus Crenulose to Wolmani type locality for species, plus Cruithyris, plus Cruziana, plus Cuniculinella, plus Cuniculinella acuta type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella ampla type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella calx, plus Cuniculinella extensa type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella fusiformis type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella majavensis type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella munda type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella parva type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella solita type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella tumida type locality for species, plus Cuniculinella ventricosa type locality for species, plus Cyathactes, gazellensis type locality for species, plus Cybiluris, plus Cyclolabus, plus Cyclolabus walkeri, plus Cycloma, plus Cycloma bilix or unidentified comparable form, plus Cymbidium, plus Cyatina, plus Cystophyllum, plus Cystophalamella, plus Cystophalamella craticula, plus Cystophalamella ducta, plus Cystophalamella tuboides, D, plus Daguinaspes, plus Dalgina, plus Dalmanella, plus Dalmanophyllum, plus Dalmanophyllum dalmani or unidentified comparable form, plus Darwissophyllum tentative report, plus Diciospira, plus Diciospira hotzi type locality for species, plus Deltopton tentative report, plus Derbia, plus Diacanthaspes, plus Dicelograptis, plus Dicolosia, plus Dicolosia conspicua or unidentified related form, plus Dicolosia jonesrigenesis, plus Dicolosia jonesrigensis, plus Dictyoclostis report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Didymograptis, plus Didymograptis protobifidus, plus Dimorpigiola, plus Dimorpigiola cognodosa, plus Diopthophora, plus Diopthophora conspicua, plus Diplanus, plus Diplanus stanleyi, plus Diplichnites, plus Discomiorthes, plus Discotropes tentative report, plus Dolworthes, plus Donaldilla, plus Donald de la Derwidua or unidentified comparable form, plus Dorsiciphus, plus Dorsiciphus johnsoni, plus Dohamina, Ohamina, plus Dohamina kenai type locality for species, plus Diticospirifer, plus Echiliopterus, plus Echiliopterus regularis or unidentified related form, plus Echinoris, plus Echinoris subhorrida, plus Echinoconchus, plus Echinoconchus punctatus, plus Ectinonotus, plus Ectinonotus raymondi or unidentified comparable form, plus Ectinonotus westoni or unidentified comparable form, plus Ectinonotus whittingtoni, plus Ectomeria, plus Ectomeria calahensis type locality for species, plus Ectomeria prisca, plus Elasmopteris, plus Elasmopteris limata type locality for species, plus Incrinuris, plus Indocerus tentative report, plus Enigmalites, plus Enigmalites roberti type locality for species, plus Eoflecheria, plus Eomarginifera, plus Eoparafusulina, plus Eoparafusulina alta type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina brevis type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina certa type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina contracta type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina cylindrica type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina depressa type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina gracilis, plus Eoparafusulina linearis, plus Eoparafusulina minuta type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina modica type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina nitida type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina ovata type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina parva type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina poterensis type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina proba type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina regularis type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina rotunda type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina spissa type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina tarda type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina tenuitheca type locality for species, plus Eoparafusulina Thompsoni, plus Eotemeria, plus Eotemeria peri type locality for species, plus Epitomionia, plus Epitomionia ricinina, plus Epitomionia relicina, plus Eridmatis, plus Eridmatis texanus or unidentified comparable form, plus Eridorthes, plus Erypnifera type locality for genus, plus Erypnifera precipitis type locality for species, plus Etheryptin, plus Euchinospira, plus Unema, plus Unema stridulatum or unidentified comparable form, plus Euomphalopterus tentative report, plus Euomphalus, plus Urogruinkia, plus Urogruinkia penobscotensis, plus Eusphaerica type locality for genus, plus Eusphaerica distubula type locality for species, F, plus Pholotaspes, plus Favosites, that's Favosites, plus Phenistella, plus Field Aspes, plus Fluctuaria, plus Fomascivella, plus Fomascivella major or unidentified comparable form, plus Fomascivella nevadensis, G, plus Galatinaspongia, plus Galatinaspongia canica, acanica, Giacanica, plus Verticolia, plus Verticolia epiporata, plus Verticolia tubula, plus Lassia tentative report, plus Globoma, plus Globoma neoto or unidentified comparable form, plus Glossopleura, plus Glossopleura lodensis, plus Glossopleura walcotti, plus Liptorthes, plus Goja ognai type locality for species, plus Goniostropha, plus Goniostropha bacheleri or unidentified comparable form, plus G. Shellia, plus G. Shellia americana type locality for species, plus Jicajula. H, 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 plus Halicites, plus Hainsella, plus Hainsella applegate type locality for species, plus Hainsella playforti, plus Helicoplacus, plus Helicoplacus gilberti, plus Helicoprion, plus Helicoprion davisii, plus Helicotoma, plus Helicotoma griffinorum type locality for species, plus Heliolites, plus Heliomroids, plus Hercinella, plus Hercinella bohemica or unidentified comparable form, plus Heracilla, plus Heracilla gerti, plus Herachoids, plus Herachoids carni type locality for species, plus Herachoids hamani type locality for species, plus Herachoids wexoi type locality for species, plus Hespericolia, plus Hespericolia undulata, plus Hesperoides, plus Hesperoides dubia or unidentified comparable form, plus Hesperoides evenkiensis, plus Heterocaninia, plus Heterocaninia langenhami type locality for species, plus Halopia, plus Halopia brucei type locality for species, plus Halopia elizabethi type locality for species, plus Halopia glindmayeri type locality for species, plus Halopia symmetrica or unidentified comparable form, plus Hormatoma, plus Howlella, plus Howlella smithi or unidentified comparable form, plus Hustidia, plus Hustidia compressa, plus Hyalostelia, plus Hyalives, plus Hystricurus, IA, plus Ilenus, plus Imperatoria, plus Imperatoria irregularis, plus Imperatoria media, plus Imperatoria mega, plus Imperatoria minima, plus Ingraya, plus Ineoshwadrina, plus Ineoshwadrina alayari type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina elongata type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina and flotta type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina linderi type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina magnifica type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina mira type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina rotunda type locality for species, plus Ineoshwadrina turgida, plus Ischirotoma, plus Iscutella, plus Iscutella fergusoni type locality for species, plus Isogramma, plus Isogramma pachti, plus Isolis tentative report, plus Isoplis, plus Isoplis spurious, K, plus Cabiapectin, plus Caravanchina, plus Cowina, plus Cowina scrobiculus, plus Kirkerhinchus, plus Kirkerhinchus riesidae or unidentified comparable form, plus Kittacamatheres, plus Clamithistria type locality for genus, plus Clamithistria dillari type locality for species, plus Clamithina, plus Clamithina elongata type locality for species, plus Clamithina simplex type locality for species, plus Clamithina singularis type locality for species, plus Cleopatrina type locality for genus, plus Cleopatrina maclaudensis type locality for species, plus Cleopatrina robi type locality for species, plus Comela, plus Comela osteolata or unidentified comparable form, plus Crotovia, Otovia, plus Cutorgina, Orgina, plus Kyphophyllum, plus Kyphophyllum gregi type locality for species, L, plus Langenhamia type locality for genus, plus Langenhamia clamathensis type locality for species, plus Latacrura, plus Latacrura erectum or unidentified related form, plus Laeclama tentative report, plus Leopardisha, plus Leopardisha bivia, plus Leptalina, plus Leptadus, plus Leptadus nobilis or unidentified related form, plus Leptostrophia tentative report, plus Leptotritocytes, plus Leptotritocytes americanus or unidentified related form, plus Leptotritocytes californicus, plus Leptotriticides glenensis, plus Leptotriticides gracilatensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Leptotriticides hatchetensis or unidentified related form, plus Leptotriticides huescensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Leptotriticides cashmani or unidentified comparable form, plus Leptotriticides panamintensis type locality for species, plus Leptotriticides various or unidentified comparable form, plus Leptotriticides warmspringensis type locality for species, plus Leptotriticides wethirensis, plus Lingula, plus Lingulella, plus Linoproductus, plus Linoproductus nasutus tentative report, plus Linslala type locality for genus, plus Linslala gregi type locality for species, plus Linslala johnsoni type locality for species, plus Liasotella, plus Liasotella cooperi type locality for species, plus Leospira, plus Leospira modesta, plus Lysicolia, plus Lysicolia ramosa, plus Lysomarginifera, plus Lysomarginifera chastensis, plus Lithostrotion, plus Lithostrotion pauceradiale, plus Lonchidomas, plus Lophospira, plus Lophospira milleri or unidentified comparable form, plus Lophospira perangulata, plus Loxoma tentative report, plus Lithophilum tentative report. M. Plus Machlorites, plus Machlorites crasso or unidentified related form, plus Machlorites clamathensis type locality for species, plus Malpasia type locality for genus, plus Malpasia macy type locality for species, plus Michela, plus Megacausloscala, plus Megalomphala tentative report, plus Megalomphala contorta, plus Meristella, plus Meristella robertsensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Mesicolia, plus Mesicolia janus or unidentified comparable form, plus Mesoduvalina tentative report, plus Mestoroma, plus Mestoroma marginalis or unidentified comparable form, plus Mexicaspes, plus Mexicaspes radiatus, plus Mexicella, plus Mexicella grandiculus, plus Mexicella mexicana, sicana, plus Mexicella robusta, plus Mexicella stator tentative report, plus Michelinia, plus Michelinia nelsoni type locality for species, plus Micrometra, plus Microrecticara, plus Microrecticara nevadensis, plus Monocriterion, plus Monodixidina tentative report, plus Murioceras, plus Mucophyllum, plus Mucophyllum McIntyre or unidentified comparable form, plus Murchisonia, plus Murchisonia violinito or unidentified comparable form, N, plus Neilsonia, plus Neochonites, plus Neochonites pseudolaratus or unidentified related form, plus Neomultifecapora, plus Neomultifecapora mccutcheoni, plus Neomultifecapora provensis type locality for species, plus Neomultifecapora sandoi type locality for species, plus Neosporifer, plus Neosyringipora, plus Neosyringipora multitenuata, plus Nephrolnellus, plus Nephrolnellus multinotus, plus Nevidatubulus, plus Nevidatubulus dunphy, plus Nevidatubulus, plus Nevidatubulus dunphy, plus Nevidella, plus Nigribaccinus, plus Nigribaccinus elegans type locality for species, plus Nigribaccinus giganteus type locality for species, plus Nigribaccinus nestelli type locality for species, plus Nilius hesperiphenes, plus Nucleospira, plus Nucleospira ventricoso or unidentified comparable form, plus Nuculavis, plus Nuculites, plus Nyala, plus Nyala clinolambata tentative report. Oh, plus Abolella, plus Oenellus, plus Oenellus gilberti, plus Olnellus, plus Olnellus arcuatus, plus Olnellus clarki, plus Olnellus cylindricus, plus Ulnellus europaria, plus Ulnellus fowleri or unidentified comparable form, plus Ulnellus frementi, plus Ulnellus fremonti, plus Ulnellus gilberti, plus Ulnellus howelli, plus Ulnellus multinotus, plus Ulnellus nevadensis, plus Ulnellus puertobloncensis, plus Ulnellus terminatus, plus Ulnellus transifins or unidentified comparable form, plus Ulnellus transitans or unidentified comparable form, plus Ulnellus transitans or unidentified comparable form, plus Ulnellus termalis or unidentified comparable form, plus Omphalotrocus, plus Omphalotrocus with type locality for species, plus Onchosphalytes, plus Onchosphalytes claytonensis type locality for species, plus Onchosphalytes levis, plus Ophaltina, plus Ophaltina sublaxo or unidentified related form, plus Orbiculoidea, plus Orbiculoidea demensis, plus Orthombonites, plus Orthombonites decipiens, plus Orthombonites eucharis, plus Orthombonites mesauspinsis, plus Orthombonites minusculus, plus Orthombonites minusculus, plus Orthombonites patulus, plus Orthidela, plus Orthidela extensa, plus Orthophyllum tentative report, plus Orthotetes, plus Orthotichia, plus Orthotichia notoactensis, plus Oryctosphalytes, plus Oryctosphalytes risuri, plus Oryctosphalus, plus Oryctosphalus indicus, plus Oryctosphalus niensis, plus Oryctosphalus orientalis, plus Ovatia. P plus Pachystrophia tentative report, plus Pachystrophia divexo or unidentified comparable form, plus Pacificocolia, plus Paladin, Paleoplicina, plus Paleomphalus, plus Paleomphalus Alsoni type locality for species, plus Paleophagus, plus Paleophyllum, plus Paleochitin, plus Paleochitin sisciauensis type locality for species, plus Palaceria, plus Parentagmus, plus Parentagmus latus, plus Parafusulina, plus Parafusulina baccari or unidentified comparable form, plus Parafusulina californica, plus Parafusulina ceragordoensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina complexa type locality for species, plus Parafusulina dohami or unidentified related form, plus Parafusulina halley type locality for species, plus Parafusulina juncea type locality for species, plus Parafusulina clamethensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina malii, plus Parafusulina maclaudensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina nasonensis, plus Parafusulina owensensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina poterensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina shaxgamesis or unidentified comparable form, plus Parafusulina splendens, plus Parafusulina ubihebensis type locality for species, plus Parafusulina virgo, plus Paraharituids, plus Paraharituids californians or unidentified related form, plus Paraharituids Stevensi type locality for species, plus Paralbertella, plus Paralinorthes, plus Paralinorthes marshalli, plus Paralinorthes parsicrassicostatus or unidentified comparable form, plus Paralinorthes parvicrassicostata or unidentified comparable form, plus Paralinorthes parvicrassicostatus or unidentified comparable form, plus Paraliospira type locality for genus, plus Paraliospira angulata, plus Paraliospira gradata type locality for species, plus Paraliospira helena, plus Paraliospira mundula, plus Paraliospira planata type locality for species, plus Parallelodon, plus Parallelodon singulatus, plus Parallelodon kinghaensis, plus Parallelodon verneuilianus, plus Paramesolobus tentative report, plus Paramesolobus sinuosus or unidentified comparable form, plus Parachnistria, plus Parachnistria bellula type locality for species, plus Parachnistria delicata type locality for species, plus Parachnistria mcgibboni type locality for species, plus Parachnistria owensensis type locality for species, plus Parachnistria peggy type locality for species, plus Parachnistria wilsoni type locality for species, plus Parashwagerina, plus Parashwagerina crassifeca type locality for species, plus Parashwagerina elongata type locality for species, plus Parashwagerina fairbanksii type locality for species, plus Parashwagerina fax, sena fax, plus Parashwagerina magna type locality for species, plus Parashwagerina tarda type locality for species, plus Patelispongia, plus Patelispongia oculata or unidentified comparable form, plus Patrias bryfer, plus Patrias bryfer cobhana, plus Paupaspira, plus Paupaspira sumnerensis or unidentified related form, plus Poroides, plus Pichella, plus Pichella brevispina, plus Pichella idingsi, plus Penicularis report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Penicularis bassi, plus Pentamerus, plus Perditocardinea, plus Permaphoris, plus Pernoctin, plus Perinites, plus Perinites hilli, plus Peruniscus, plus Petalaxis, plus Petalaxis alisani type locality for species, plus Petalaxis bisti type locality for species, plus Petalaxis exiguus type locality for species, plus Petalaxis occidentalis, plus Petalaxis sutherlandi type locality for species, plus Petrosium, plus Petrosium staufferi type locality for species, plus Phillipsia, plus Phillipsia nasonensis type locality for species, plus Pholidops, plus Phragmorthes, plus Phragmorthes butsi or unidentified comparable form, plus Fricadothyres, plus Philograptus, plus Plesiames, plus Plagiura, plus Plagiura serops or unidentified comparable form, plus Plagiura minor, plus Planolites, plus Plasmapora, plus Plasmapora follis or unidentified comparable form, plus Platyceros, plus Plectotripa, plus Plectorthes, plus Plectorthes mazarcensis, plus Plectorthes patula, plus Poliometa, plus Poliometa octavia, plus Polydcia, plus Polyplacus, plus Polyplacus kilmeri, plus Polypora, plus Porphyria, plus Porphyria robusta, plus Prispinilius, plus Productus, plus Productus chiacoc, plus Protus, plus Proxenocrinus, plus Proxenocrinus inionsis, plus Progalaris tentative report, plus Prosolarium, plus Protocalamine calamine, plus Protocalamine McAllistery, plus Protowincellella type locality for genus, plus Protowincellella cystosa, plus Protowincellella conthai, plus Protowincellella noinski, plus Protowincellella chastensis type locality for species, plus Protowincellella variabilis type locality for species, plus Proteritella, plus Proteritella historicum or unidentified related form, plus Pseudocheruris, plus Pseudochusanella, plus Pseudochusanella buttonsis type locality for species, plus Pseudochusanella concisa, plus Pseudochusanella hazardi type locality for species, plus Pseudocystophora, plus Pseudocystophora free type locality for species, plus Pseudocystophora wilsoni type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina, plus Pseudofusulina accepta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina acuta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina amona type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina ardua type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina attenuata type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina concisa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina contracta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina decora type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina distorta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina eleriensis type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina eximia type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina extensa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina juncea type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina laxa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina miki type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina minuta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina modesta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina monstrosa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina plana type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina retusa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina solita type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina soluta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina spissa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina tenuis type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulina tenuitheca type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella, plus Pseudofusulinella aculeata type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella acuminata type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella acuta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella alta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella antiqua type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella bellula type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella biconica type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella decora type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella delicata type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella dunbari type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella formosa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella fragilis type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella fusiformis type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella harboi type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella miki type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella montes, plus Pseudofusulinella morae type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella munda type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella nitida type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella obtusa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella occidentalis, plus Pseudofusulinella opima type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella parvula type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella pinguis type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella prima type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella proba type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella pulchula type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella retusa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella rotunda type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella sera type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella simplex type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella solida type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella solita type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella spicata type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella splendens type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella thomsoni type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella tumid, the type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella ventricosa type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella venusta type locality for species, plus Pseudofusulinella wheeleri type locality for species, plus Pseudomera, plus Pseudomera barrondae or unidentified comparable form, plus Pseudoschwadrina, plus Pseudoschwadrina arta, plus Pseudoschwadrina californica type locality for species, plus Pseudoschwadrina gerontica or unidentified comparable form, plus Pseudoschwadrina robusta, plus Pseudoschwadrina rosilleri, plus Pseudoschwadrina odini, plus Ptarmiganoids, plus Ptarmiganoids hexacantha, plus Ptarmiganoids propical or unidentified comparable form, plus Pteridinium tentative report, plus Tychicaulis rodnii type locality for species, plus Tychichlorella mediacustata or unidentified comparable form, plus Tychichlorella uniplicata or unidentified related form, plus Tyosphalis diclivita or unidentified comparable form, plus Punctus burifer, plus Radiotrabulopora, reticulata, plus Raphispira plena or unidentified comparable form, plus Raymondaspes vespertina, plus Ramoplurides, plus Ramopluridiella, plus Ripenala, plus Replicosconidoids, Rodnigregii, plus Reticularian a tentative report, plus Reticularian a laxa, plus Rhabdomson, plus Rapidomela, plus Rhynchopora taylori, plus Rhizostrophia nevadensis, plus Rhizostrophia occidentalis, plus Rigbitia oponica, plus Rossosres, plus Rotilomphalis tardus or unidentified comparable form, plus Rudimania lyrata or unidentified comparable form, plus Rudimanoceres, plus Rugosochonites californicus, plus Rugosochonites californicus, plus Rucificus plus Salipina horseshoensis, plus Sandalesma Mucosoni type locality for species, plus Sandalesma stoni, plus Scaphorhes, plus Schistontopus, plus Schizotis, plus Schizoma nicis or unidentified comparable form, plus Schizophoria bisinuata or unidentified comparable form, plus Schizophoria compacta or unidentified comparable form, plus Schubertella kingi, plus Schubertella minuta type locality for species, plus Schubertella pusilla type locality for species, plus Schuchertella, plus Schwadrina aculeata, plus Schwadrina acuminata type locality for species, plus Schwadrina ammona type locality for species, plus Schwadrina arta type locality for species, plus Schwadrina aspera type locality for species, plus Schwadrina stricta type locality for species, plus Schwadrina basensis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina bahensis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina biconica type locality for species, plus Schwadrina burklandensis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina consina type locality for species, plus Schwadrina convexa, plus Schwadrina corpulenta type locality for species, plus Schwadrina curta type locality for species, plus Schwadrina cylindrica type locality for species, plus Schwadrina davisi or unidentified comparable form, plus Schwadrina demissa type locality for species, plus Schwadrina elconsis or unidentified comparable form, plus Schwadrina eximia type locality for species, plus Schwadrina fisci type locality for species, plus Schwadrina harboi type locality for species, plus Schwadrina humilis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina juncia type locality for species, plus Schwadrina climathensis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina laudoni type locality for species, plus Schwadrina longissimoidea, plus Schwadrina maclaudensis type locality for species, plus Schwadrina menziesi or unidentified comparable form, plus Schwadrina modica, plus Schwadrina morae type locality for species, plus Schwadrina providens, plus Schwadrina providens, plus Schwadrina pseudoprinceps type locality for species, plus Schwadrina pugunculus or unidentified comparable form, plus Schwadrina pulchula type locality for species, plus Schwadrina remissa type locality for species, plus Schwadrina rotunda type locality for species, plus Schwadrina schenki type locality for species, plus Schwadrina soluta type locality for species, plus Schwadrina spicata type locality for species, plus Schwadrina turgida type locality for species, plus Schwadrina ventricosa type locality for species, plus Schwadrina vervulae, plus Schwadrina welsensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Schwadrina wheeleri type locality for species, plus Scalais, plus Semicostella, plus Septispirae for tentative report, plus Satigarites, plus Shamovella, plus Shastalasma, plus Shastalasma cugani type locality for species, plus Shastalasma gavini type locality for species, plus Shastalasma woody type locality for species, plus Shastaphyllum type locality for genus, plus Shastaphyllum schucherti type locality for species, plus Sigmalasma type locality for genus, plus Sigmalasma pantheri type locality for species, plus Siskiospira type locality for genus, plus Siskiospira vostokovi type locality for species, plus Scenidioids, plus Scenidioids glenmayeri type locality for species, plus Scenidioids melifarius, plus Scenidioids multifarius, plus Skinnerella, plus Skinnerella davidovi type locality for species, plus Skinnerella hexagona type locality for species, plus Skinnerella macalisteri type locality for species, plus Spinulaplica, plus Spinulophel, plus Spirifer, plus Spirifer brasilianus, plus Spiriferella, plus Spiriferina, plus Spiriferina tentative report, plus Squamularia report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Stachioceras, plus Stachioceras antiquum or unidentified related form, plus Stachioceras gordoni type locality for species, plus Steroceras, plus Steroceras phosphorians or unidentified related form, plus Stenal or untentative report, plus Stenal or unfasciata or unidentified related form, plus Stenocisma, plus Stenocisma venostum, plus Stereostylis balabacensis type locality for species, plus Stuartina convexa, plus Stuartina magnifica type locality for species, plus Stuartina multispira, plus Stuartina texana, plus Stuartina uber, plus Stuartina ultimata type locality for species, plus Straparolis, plus Streplochondria, plus Streptopteria, plus Streptolasma, plus Streptosolin, plus Striatifera, plus Striatopora tentative report, plus Striatopora guinensis or unidentified comparable form, plus Stricklandia tentative report, plus Strigignalis, plus Styloma, plus Styloma potens or unidentified comparable form, plus Swantonia, plus Swantonia, plus Swartpuntia or unidentified comparable form, plus Symphysorina, plus Syringaxin, plus Syringipora, plus Cispacephalus, plus Cispacephalus granulosus tentative report, plus Cispacephalus obscurus, plus Cispacephalus variosus type locality for species, T, plus Tafrelmanthopsis, plus Tafrelmanthopsis nelsoni, plus Taphrathes tentative report, plus Temnodiscus tentative report, plus Temnodiscus ureomphalis, plus Tyroplax, plus Tyroplax merriami type locality for species, plus Thamniscus report made of unidentified related form or using admittedly obsolete nomenclature, plus Thamnosia arctica, plus Thompsonella cylindrica type locality for species, plus Thompsonella rugosa type locality for species, plus Timonella manila, plus Timonella pseudocamerata, plus Tonopahella type locality for genus, plus Tonopahella goldfieldensis type locality for species, plus Tonopahella walcotti, plus Tornifer, plus Trematospira, plus Trepospira, plus Trinotis, plus Trinotis clusis or unidentified comparable form, plus Tritocytes, plus Tritocytes bensonensis, plus Tritocytes brevis type locality for species, plus Tritocytes burgessii or unidentified comparable form, plus Tritocytes buttonsis, plus Tritocytes californicus, plus Tritocytes cellomagnus, plus Tritocytes elegantoides, plus Tritocytes gigantocilus, plus Tritocytes hermanni type locality for species, plus Tritocytes invenostis type locality for species, plus Tritocytes muddiensis, plus Tritocytes mulleri type locality for species, plus Tritocytes occidentalis type locality for species, plus Tritocytes Schenki type locality for species, plus Tritocytes tumentis type locality for species, plus Tritocytes usitatis type locality for species, plus Tritocytes ventricosus or unidentified related form, plus Tritocytes viribus type locality for species, plus Trocholites tentative report, plus Trocoma, plus Trocoma liljevalli type locality for species, plus Trocomella tentative report, plus Trocomella miculosi type locality for species, plus Tetiasovskenia, plus Tetiasovskenia conorsensis, U plus Unispirifer, V, E, plus Valkyria, plus Valkyria plana or unidentified comparable form, plus Vernulia, plus Vulborthella, plus Vulborthella tenuis, plus Valosphelina, plus Valosphelina connexa, plus Valosphelina contracta. W, 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 plus Wagenaucontia tentative report, plus Wagenophyllum, plus Wagenophyllum, Chlamyphensis type locality for species, plus Waneria, plus Walcobella, plus Walcobella nelsoni, plus Wellerella, plus Wellerella hemiplicata or unidentified comparable form, plus Wellerella rotunda or unidentified comparable form, plus Wenkemnia, plus Wenkemnia spinaculus tentative report, plus Wenkemnia sulcata, plus Westgardia, plus Westgardia gigantea type locality for species, plus Wexellina type locality for genus, plus Wexellina tombstonensis type locality for species, plus Whitfieldella tentative report, plus Wilsonistria type locality for genus, plus Wilsonistria fluvius type locality for species, plus Wilsonistria parva type locality for species, plus Wilsonistria smithi type locality for species, plus Wintunistria type locality for genus, plus Wintunistria stanley type locality for species, plus Wyacha, X, plus Xenodiscus, plus Xenodiscus carbonarius or unidentified related form, plus Xenostigium, plus Zestatrema, plus Zestatrema pulchrum, Y, plus Yakovlevia, Levia, Levia, of Levia, of Levia, of Levia, of Levia, of Levia, Levia, of Levia, of Levia, of Levia, of Levia, Hevia, of Levia, 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 plus Yakovlevia californica type locality for species. C, E, plus Zacanthoids, plus Zachanthopsis, plus Zelophyllum,